Hi, this is Dan from Real Mac Software and welcome to this week's Rapidweaver Elements Developer Diary. Now we've got quite a lot to go over this week, so let's dive straight into this week's project. Okay, let's launch Elements. And I've got this site I've put together here as always. And this one is a little photographic site. And because we've been working on refining all the elements, Ben's been going over them and we're just trying to hone the final selection we're going to ship with the beta. And so we're kind of going through those and still fixing them up, changing things and just trying to add extra polish. And one thing Ben's been working on is the gallery element. So I know we demoed the gallery before quite near the beginning of the Club Element video. So I know some of you watching this won't have seen the gallery, and we've done some refinements and changed the way it works. So I thought I'd go over those this week and then we're going to answer some questions. So I've got the gallery here and this is the little gallery icon. These are blue at the moment. You can ignore that. I was just playing with some, they will change. I don't think, not that you care anyway, probably, but those are not the final icons. So I've got my gallery in here. I've just dragged this on and it's using, if I scroll up here and get some information about it, it's using a folder of images here, London. So you can drop folders of images on here and it'll automatically create the gallery. So I've got this one of Japan here, and if I drop this in here, it'll recreate the thumbnails for me and lay it out, and it works just like that. You know, I've got 20 photos here. We can drop that in and it's created all those all those thumbnails. That is good. So let's drop back on the London one. And it uses this order to display them. So if I want this one up here, what I can do is I can take this and I can just drop it there and it relays them out live, real time, just like that. So I can move these around. Let's put that one up there. Just like that, and we can obviously, if I want some of these Japanese ones in here, let's get a few of these. I can just drop these in, and there we go. So that's nice. Let me show you how it looks. There's a couple of ways you can kind of see the lightbox effect. So when you click on these, a lightbox will appear. Now, because we're in edit mode, we need to click this little tab. We want to preview the lightbox in edit, so I can do this and that will give me a preview of how this looks, which is great for kind of change. You know, here I'm changing the background so we can play around with this stuff and get it looking the way we want. Let's switch that off. So if I go over to preview, just re-rendering that for us, there we are. So it's exported all of these. Although some of our images are the names are duplicates. So let's just change that. Let's just call that bridge, because I saw some duplications there on the preview. That's a little thing we need to iron out. So it's Elements trying to be smart there, because the images are named the same. It's obviously overwritten some of them. Let's call that city. And then 1, 2, 3, this one as well. Call that sunset. There we are. Okay, so now if I head over to preview, it should update those. There we are. And we've got rid of those duplicates. So that's just a little issue we hit there. That's the thing. Do these demos, you find out issues you need to fix. Okay, so now we're in preview mode, and if I click on a thumbnail, it'll bring up the lightbox for us, and I can use these to click through, and you can see when I get to the end of the lightbox or the beginning, we get this little symbol to say it doesn't work, so I can go through like this. It's very nice, and you can see the dots moving along, and we can customize all this. So that's very cool. I hit this to dismiss it, and we've also built in, you can click on any of these and it will go straight to that photo. So that's very nice. So there we are. It jumps straight to it, which is really nice. I've also got a trackpad here, and we've built it for mobile and touch controls as well. So here I am, I'm just swiping. You can see I can just control this. So this works great on the iPhone and iPad and stuff like that. Just swiping between them, really nice touch control. So it works great on the desktop, great on mobile as well. Let me see. So let's go back to edit mode. There's a couple of other things I wanted to show you. There's lots of ways you can configure this to change the look of the buttons and the layout. One thing, let's preview this in edit, and we can switch these dots to thumbnails. Now the dots should be in the middle. This is a little bug. Ben's needs to fix this, but I've only just run into it just before recording this, so Ben's working on that fix now, and it will be fixed, but you'll have to imagine these are in the middle. So this is just in edit mode. So what I'm going to do, we can change these to thumbnails. So if I hit thumbnails, they're very small because they're in the circles, but we want these to be bigger, so we can increase the size of them like this, and we can adjust things like the spacing. You know, I can adjust these, which is very nice, but that looks good. I can make them a bit bigger. And so it uses, again, all of this uses the classes from the theme studio, and it's currently using the MD class here for the slight rounded corners, but you know, we could turn these to full, and you could have we could make these little dot thumbnails, which is kind of cool. And we can set the offset where they appear in relation to that. So let's do that. And then I'll switch this off, and then we'll go into preview mode. So we can hop over here, and it's going to re-render that for us. Click on here, and now we've got these nice dots, and I can go through these like that. And you can obviously click on the images to jump straight to them. So it's very configurable, very cool. And these thumbnails will be generated by RapidWeaver on the fly, so they'll be uploaded with your site. So to make it more optimized for, you know, we're not using the full size images there. So it's all very cool, good stuff. One other thing I wanted to touch on. Now this, of course, all this stuff works with the responsive breakpoints. So my site, if I go down to mobile, they are all bunched up like this, and this is not really what we want. If I was on mobile, I'd probably want a single column. So we can set it to single column, but now obviously it's single column all the time, and that is definitely not what we want. As I come up through these sizes, it would be nice to see more. So we can override that. So when I'm on like a landscape phone, small tablet, we want to override that, and I'd like 2 columns, so we'll put that on there. And then when I get, we could leave this on 2 as well. I think that would be good. And then when I get up to like desktop or this size, we can add another breakpoint. We can override that, and we can have that on 3. So now we can see single there on mobile, then double, then this, and then 3 columns. And this is really cool. So you can, you know, all these things with dots, we can override this and tweak it for the different things, which is very, very cool. So yeah, so that's working. Let's go over to preview. So that's working nicely in here. So you can just see that, real nice. So very powerful stuff, very powerful indeed. Yeah, it's just let's see, I can just throw that on there, and it will re-render this, and you know, let's go and preview that. So it's really good, and that's created all our little thumbnails for us down the bottom. Really nice way to work. So that's the gallery. We've got a bit more to do on it. Ben's still working on that, tidying it up, but it's just so again, so simple and so powerful. The way of adding these galleries, just dropping these folders in, super quick. It just, you know, no more dropping in single images and trying to manage them in here. It just works. And this works with video as well. I don't have a video to hand. I should have set that up, but you can drop in YouTube and Vimeo videos in here, and playlists as well. So if you've got a YouTube playlist, you can just drop it in here, and Elements creates the thumbnails for you. It creates all that, drop it in there, and then it would build the gallery. Sorry, I haven't got that to hand. Maybe I'll show that next week. So, all right, that was the gallery, and kind of a bit of I hope that shows you how all these features are coming together, and yeah, how we're looking on that. So let's go and answer a few questions now, I think, because there's a couple in there that might bring us back to Elements to show some things off. So let's go to Safari. So I asked for some questions as usual. We've got a lot of questions, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on some of these because we've got a lot to get through and it's already been a long video, blah, blah, blah. All right. This one isn't really a question. I don't think. Flash wants to see an example of on-page navigation, such as table of contents with scroll to anchor points. It would be nice if it highlighted your current on-page location. That all seems very specific. I will have to look at that. I'm not sure what we've currently got built in will let you do exactly that. I'll have to have a think on that. Certainly we've got some upcoming features that might allow you to achieve this. But if not, certainly a third party would be able to build something that would do exactly this, of course. And that's the beauty of the Elements language. Will be open and people can build for it. So yeah, I don't know if that's helpful or not, my answer to that. Okay, but we can chat about it on the forum. Watch this, then if you've got follow-up questions, we can kind of go into more detail. So, and then these two questions are kind of relating to accessibility and does Elements handle that? And we've kind of touched on this before. Elements is very flexible, and we're trying to build it as flexible as possible so that you can build accessible websites, but to some degree it is down to the user building the site how compliant to the accessibility laws and outlines your site is. You need to have the right structure, so you want to be using H1 for headers, H2 for your subsections, H3, so you need. We can't do that for you because it's your content. You're laying those out, so you need to choose properly for that kind of stuff. It's high on our list to make sure we do everything we can to allow you guys to build accessible websites and add extra tags and the things you want to do. So that is, we're aware of it. And I think once you start using the betas, then we can work a bit more closely and make sure you've got the tools in there that you want. So I hope that answers that. I think you really need to start using the beta, and we need to work with you guys to I think there'll be a couple of fine-tuning tweaks that we need to do just to improve things a little bit more, but we're well aware of it, and we're working towards that. Not really a question, but would love to see an SEO dashboard, one place to add everything, or at least check to make sure it has been completed. Again, we've got the health check in Classic, and I'm in two minds whether we really want to bring that into Elements. It's kind of good. I don't know. And that's kind of an SEO dashboard because that will check things like alt tags and custom folder names and things like that. So that would kind of tick this, but really, and we do have some articles on SEO because again, it does come down to the user, because you need to name your folders and get your structure right, and you need to add alt tags to your images and do your sections correctly. So yeah, maybe. I mean, it's not really high on our priority list for the beta because it's not an essential. An SEO dashboard is not essential to the product because there are a lot of online tools that will check your site. There are a bajillion out there. There's a lot of, services like that and tools that will automatically check your site that are dedicated to doing just that one job, which will do it better than we ever will because we're not an SEO company. So I think there's a bit of a halfway house. We can certainly help on that front. But at this time, we don't have an SEO dashboard planned. But maybe we'll look at recommending some services to use. I'm sure the people on the forum will know of what the best one is that they use and can recommend. Okay. So Scott says, would be nice to know if there will be a manager to filter third-party add-ons. Yes, and again, I think a lot of the things we've demoed were in the club elements, like the early demos. So a lot of the people watching these videos now didn't see those or don't remember them, so don't know a lot of things we've demoed. So if I go back over to elements, and if I go back to the element list here, we've obviously got search, and this will search everything installed, and it's live search. So just as I type there, it's very cool and works just like that. Very nice. We also have this section up the top here, and this is so you can filter what is in here. Now, I can show just the things in my project, which is very cool. So this will only show the elements in my project. I can show the things I favorited, the section and the heading there, and I can view it just by authors. And if I select the top level, that would show me everything. So yes, we have a way to manage it and filter and view things in here. And you can open the catalog, which is the main manager here. So I can drill down into these things. If I had more add-ons installed by other developers, you would see the developer name, and I could filter by those, and you can get more information about them and like them there. Obviously, yeah, so I've liked that one. And then if I go into the favorites, it appears there. So yeah, there's this manager here, and that's the plan. That this is where you would manage your installs, get your updates, and even browse the store, things like that. That was the plan for the catalog. Still needs some more work. It won't be too relevant for the first beta, because the initial beta, our plan is just to ship elements like this with the elements built in for you guys to use it almost like a technical preview. So there won't really be third-party add-ons to use at that initial beta. But yeah, so yes, that's all planned and that is there. It just needs a little bit more polish, but that won't hold us up from shipping a beta. All right, Erwin has quite a few questions here. Will Elements have a backup function for the project file to the server like Classic does? Yes, exactly the same. Will there be an HT access manager in public section like Classic has? Yes, exactly the same. That is already in there, and same with the backup. That's already in there, and the HT access file, great, works as you'd expect. Is there a built-in cookie manager functionality? Is there a way to scramble an email address so that it can't be read by crawlers? We haven't addressed either of those things yet. Again, there probably will be third-party solutions to that. Both of those things are something that I think we should add. At least a basic level of those, and then third parties could build the ultra complex solutions if they wanted. But yeah, so not built in now, won't be in the beta, but probably high up on the list of something we should look at. Okay, now Weaver Pixel, which is Marcus, he says one of the really good things in stacks are the partials. Will there be something like this in Elements? Yes. Now this is interesting, and this is something we've been alluding to for the last few weeks. We've been working on this on and off for many months, and we knew this is what we wanted to build in. And we've got it working recently, and it's really shaping up. And I talked about it before being amazing, and it's, I feel it's always a bit annoying. Well, I think it's annoying that if I hype these things up and, I'm not showing it to you. But yes, we have a thing called layouts, and it is super, super powerful. It is, it's similar to partials, and it's kind of similar to those includes you would do for if you were building a traditional website. You have PHP includes, things like that. It's like all those features, but it is absolutely next level in the fact that it is so flexible. I really can't wait to show that to you. And again, I just want to get it a bit more polished up, because while I could demo it, I want to wait until we've got a couple of other things in there that needs fleshing out. But it is, you will be able to do everything partials can do and even more. It is absolutely mind-blowing, and yeah, it makes building an entire site so much easier. So that will be coming up, and that's what this icon here is. That's layouts, and you might have noticed it in the catalog here. We have this section called layouts. So yeah, that's all coming up. That is yeah. I suppose I could have just said yes. That would have been a better way to answer that question. Yes, there will. And one other thing, I just wanted to touch on this. A few weeks ago, Brian was asking about the HTML element we had, because it was just an initial implementation and it was a bit ropey, and we knew we wanted to do more. And again, I think I'm going to demo this next week, but we've now improved this. So your HTML elements will render in the page, and there's a built-in editor that you can code right beside it and see those changes live. Yeah, and that is related to this little feature here. You might have noticed this as we were looking at these elements. There's a little custom heading and a little plus button, and it's to do with that. So I'm going to leave it there. That's a little cliffhanger for next week. So do make sure you tune in next week, because I will be demoing our new system there. Good stuff to come. All right, thanks for watching this week's video. If you've got any questions about what we've talked about, or any of you guys watching this where I've answered your question and you want to go into more detail and we want to have a little bit of back and forth about what you need and what you want, post it in the forum and we can chat there. All right, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.